one other thing I want to talk about too is something that I found that I was missing in some podcasts and some podcasts, some internet articles, some internet websites, some other forms of media that I was looking for was you'll see people talk about, hey, yeah, I got this certain bike is a great bike for this, or this bike is a great bike for that, or here's a great entry-level bike, which I don't buy. I think that's great. Here's a great entry-level bike. But where there's a void is, in my opinion, and a lot of people I know, and I'm definitely one of them. There are times when I hop on when I especially over winter, I sit down and I start planning out trips. I start planning out road trips. I'm fortunate enough to be doing okay in life, financially. Have a decent enough job where I can take some time off every once in a while. So I can plan usually 20 days or so a year that I can take off on the bike and just go ride. Like I mentioned earlier in this video, well, in two spots. I live in Minneapolis, live in Minnesota, and I traveled down to Tennessee. My primary reason for going down there was to ride the tail of the dragon, because I'd heard a lot of stories about it and I wanted to pull it off my bucket list. But you don't see it. If you notice in the reviews that you see, you will not see a lot of reviews where folks talk about having the bike, having it for more than 100 miles, having it for more than 3 or 4 days, and taking it out on a long distance trip. Now, I don't know about any of you that are watching this, but I personally, when I buy a bike, I buy for maybe a slightly different reason than most, or mentality than most. When I buy a bike, I don't buy it for how am I going to ride it every day. I buy it for those situations where I know I'm going to be riding hard. And those are maybe the extreme situations where I'm going to be riding it hard. And to clarify on that point, like, I go to Sturgis every year, but this except for 2020. I was at Sturgis from 2006 to 2019 every year in a row. For 13 straight years I went to Sturgis. From where I live, that's about 700 miles one way. Once you get out there, you spend about 2,000 miles riding around the area, and then you spend another 700 plus riding back. That's the situations I buy a motorcycle for, because that's when I'm going to have my seat in my booty in the seat for the most extreme condition. Now, if I bought, and that's why I bought the Indian Chieftain. That's why before this Chieftain, I had another Chieftain. Before that Chieftain, I had a Victory cross country. Because I wanted something, and before that cross country, I actually had a Suzuki Boulevard. And I rode the Suzuki Boulevard out to Sturgis 2 or 3 times, and quite honestly, this is no knock against that Suzuki Boulevard. That bike was a great bike. I still miss it to this day. But the third year I came home on that bike, after the third year, riding 700 miles on the freeway, Interstate I-90, averaging, I should have gone the other way, averaging 75 miles an hour, I lost feeling in my last 2 fingers on my right hand. for 2 months because of the vibration. For me, that bike didn't fit the type of riding I was doing. Even though that type of riding I was doing was not every day, it was a percentage of my mileage. And maybe that's the way I should say this, is that I think, personally, I think people should buy a motorcycle, at least their second motorcycle. They should base the type of bike they buy on the percentage of total mileage they're gonna do. For me, I got 8,000 plus miles on this motorcycle. Of those 8,000 miles, about 4,000 have come from longer road trips. That's a little under 50%, or right around 50%, because I actually got 8150. So right around 50% of my mileage is being long distance on the road. Now I ride around town like I'm doing right now. You know, I ride around town in areas with speed limits, you know, anywhere from 25 to 40. That's 50% of my riding. And I actually had an India Scout Bobber too, that my wife and I got for her to ride. And then she wound up not riding it very much. I wound up riding it a little bit. And that's a great around town bike. But if you can only have one bike, that Scout Bobber wasn't going to do what I needed it to do for the kind of riding I was doing for that 50%, or for 50% of my riding. I always found myself having to make accommodations for the bike, or thinking about if I'm going to take it long distance, what kind of accommodations would I have to put on it. And I wound up not taking, I don't think I ever took it, personally, I don't think I ever rode it out of state. And I'll take this Chieftain out of state, you know, hell, if I'm all right, I'll take it out of state 3-4 times a month. So anyway, I guess my whole point is, what I'm trying to make here is, when you buy a bike, if you're looking at a motorcycle, think about what the percentage of extreme riding you're going to do is going to be. And I'll just repeat this one more time. And once again, what I mean by that is 99% of your riding going to be in the city, and you don't plan on taking any road trips? Then a non-touring bike is probably the perfect bike for you. If 99%, or if 35% of your riding is going to be, you're going to chew up highway miles, do day trips, do overnight kind of stuff. You want to pack a bag, you want to put a tent on the back, you want to stay in a hotel, any of that kind of stuff. If you plan on putting on 300-mile one-way days, 250-mile one-way days, and you want to be comfortable, think about that. You know, think about the total mileage you're going to have in a day. I mean, I'm sorry, in a riding season. Try to think about, from that total mileage I'm going to have in a riding season, how much of that mileage is going to be, how much that mileage is going to be road trips versus riding to the local coffee shop, or I'm not endorsing this, but riding to the local bar, meeting up with your buddies, having having a soda. How much of it's going to be like, and I'm going to do what I said I don't like reading about, or what would turn me off to some of the motorcycle magazines, but how much of that's going to be riding in canyons or riding twisties? If that percentage is going to be, if you're going to be riding twisties a lot, if 90% of your riding is going to be riding in twisties, the touring bike's not for you. All right, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed my rambling. I'm really hoping this audio turns out well, so I can throw this up on YouTube, because I've been wanting to motoblog for a while. If this video does show up on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you don't like the video, hit the thumbs down button. If you think I'm full of crap, put it in the comments. If you agree with me, or if you have another opinion, comment. I would love to hear what people say. That's why I'm doing this, man. It's to get people talking. It's for people to think about motorcycles in a different way. It's for people who to be able to have a different way to digest content about something that they really, really enjoy, something that they're passionate about. And on that note, everybody take care. V-Twin Blog out.